grew up more in suburbia, but I have an uncle who was an apple grower in Ohio. And my father was an engineer, but I think he was a frustrated farmer. He would have preferred to farm, but his father was an engineer and turned him into an engineer. So my father taught me all kinds of gardening, horticultural, grow your own food type things as a hobby. And also, since his father had forced him to be an engineer, he was very happy for me to do whatever I wanted to do, and I loved growing plants. So I started out working in ornamental horticulture. When I was a junior, I went out to California for 1 quarter, and I saw a massive scale pomology. Acres, miles of tree fruits, and I said, this is what I want to do. So I came back, graduated, went to graduate school, studying pomology at University of California, and have been in growing fruits the rest of my life. So it's been a nice career opportunity to come to Michigan State 23 years ago, because I've had the ability to work with sour cherries, sweet cherries, apples, and peaches, and actually apricots and plums as well. So that diversity keeps you really engaged. I've been fortunate to specialize in sweet cherries at a time when the sweet cherry industry worldwide was changing rapidly and expanding rapidly. And so being on the cusp and the cutting edge of that has been quite fulfilling.
Main focus was working with the sweet cherry industry, the fresh sweet cherry industry, which wasn't much of an industry when he started. So then after he got here, he brought all his knowledge with him from the Pacific Northwest, and really has been instrumental in getting things like this planting that we're in kind of in place with growers here to help them. I see Greg as being instrumental to the cherry industry in Michigan and North America, and I know the world. He travels quite a bit. I got to see this firsthand once with him when I traveled to the Pacific Northwest. And everywhere we went, everybody kind of gloms onto Greg, and they're happy to see him. They want to ask him questions while he's in place. And that's true here as well in Michigan. So he brings that world and national knowledge here to the growers in Michigan to help them be able to do new plantings with new varieties and these new dwarfing rootstocks.
Our exposure to Greg's been, well, super beneficial for our company, and I think for Michigan growers who decide to get involved in it. We have some challenges which have to do with Mother Nature. Everybody has those, but cherries don't particularly like water, and birds seem to be attracted to cherries, and so we've taken some steps to mitigate those risks, and that's been with a lot of guidance from Greg.
The connection with MSU is important. They're local, they're the guys that are here. Our region is different than everywhere else, so even though we can go see it somewhere else in the world, we may not be able to bring it home and do it here. So having the people that understand the horticultural side and everything that goes along with it to help us out, so we're not making large investments and poor decisions with those large investments. So
I'm greatly involved in the International Society for Horticultural Science. I was chair of the cherry working group within that organization pretty much for the last 25 years. I've been chair of it, helped organize various international symposia that happened every 4 years. So it's kept me tapped into the International Cherry Group.
Our exposure to him's been in the cherry, sweet cherry production and marketing, and that's been super helpful because not only are we able to tap into what he knows and what he's learned works and doesn't work, but he's also got lots and lots of contacts all around the world, and we get an opportunity to approach them, and they're usually willing to share whatever they know just because of the relationship that Greg has with them.
He organizes all of us extension people for the fruit program at the expo. So he keeps us in order and cracks the whip on us to make sure we have the program in on time and make sure the program's fitting, and then the fruit team starts planning for expo about a year before it happens. So as soon as it's over, we're planning for the next one, and that's because Greg stays on top of us to make sure that that program gets done and it's at its best.
We've had Greg in here for several meetings just bouncing ideas off him, and he's always had somebody that we could call or somebody we could go see or an idea. We've worked with some trials with him. We've done system trials. We've done the NC 140 trials. We've got our new cover systems that we traveled to Germany here this past summer, meeting with the guys out there that make and do those things every day. So
the service that I've contributed has been a reflection of our extension people, of the growers that I work with, of the various scientists that I've worked with. So really it's, it's not a one-person award.